Over the years, it's normal for the male body to undergo hormonal changes. Starting at 50, testosterone levels begin to decline slowly, which can impact sexual energy, erection firmness, and even mood. Many men accept these changes as inevitable, but what most don't know is that certain habits, like masturbation performed inappropriately, can accelerate that decline. Instead of being a wellness tool, it ends up becoming a silent problem. The problem isn't masturbation itself, but how it's practiced. Recent studies have shown that frequency, context, and technique have a real impact on nervous system health, blood circulation, and hormonal balance. What for many is an outlet or automatic act can be dysregulating sensitive areas of the body, directly affecting potency and intimate performance. Additionally, in our culture, this remains a topic surrounded by taboos. Many older men feel ashamed to talk about it, even with their doctors. That's why, when symptoms like difficulty maintaining an erection, loss of sensitivity, or fatigue after the act appear, they rarely associate it with repetitive or misdirected solitary habits. It's more common to blame age or chronic diseases without considering the behavioral root of the problem. This silence not only delays the diagnosis of real dysfunctions, but also prevents the adoption of healthier habits. The lack of guidance leads to excess, mechanicity, and emotional isolation. And although it's not openly discussed, science has already documented the consequences of poorly managed practice: physical exhaustion, decreased dopamine, sleep disruption, and even loss of real pleasure with a partner. Lifestyle also influences this. Sedentary behavior, inflammatory diet, chronic stress, and excessive consumption of visual stimuli alter how the brain responds to pleasure. Masturbation then stops being a healthy way to release tension and transforms into compensation, often toxic. And most concerning, the more the body gets used to this cycle, the harder it becomes to break it. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. Understanding these mistakes is the first step to recovering your potency, your vital energy, and your healthy relationship with your body. And we're not talking about abandoning this habit, but transforming it with awareness, technique, and purpose. What the Japanese have discovered, and what I'll soon share with you, is a more balanced model, more respectful of the body's rhythms, and more effective for maintaining masculine vitality even in old age. First mistake: the rush. Have you ever noticed that you're masturbating as if it were a speed race? Many men over 60 repeat this pattern without even noticing it. They believe the important thing is to release tension quickly, without connection to the body, without breathing, without pause. But this is the first big mistake that may be silently sabotaging your sexual potency: the rush. Instead of helping you, you're training your body to finish quickly, and this has direct consequences in your intimate life. With each quick session, you're reinforcing in your nervous system the idea that sex should be fleeting, tense, and automatic. Science has proven it. The brain learns through repetition, and if you repeat the habit of rushing toward climax, you'll end up conditioning your sexual response toward premature ejaculation, making it increasingly difficult to control and endure during the real act. The anxiety to finish quickly becomes a vicious cycle, and that anxiety is the biggest enemy of a firm erection. But this isn't your fault. Many men grew up without any kind of healthy sexual education. They were never taught to enjoy the process, to be present, to connect with their body without rush. The good news is that this pattern can be transformed. The key is changing the approach, moving from a sprint to a marathon, from an automatic act to a conscious experience. The difference isn't in what you do, but in how you do it. Start by reserving an intimate moment without interruptions. Sit or lie down in a comfortable space, breathe deeply, and don't rush. Explore your sensations, caress without pressing, change the rhythm. A technique widely used even by Japanese therapists is to approach climax and stop just before, breathing and relaxing the body. This strengthens your self-control and trains your mind to resist longer. Another useful tip, turn off the internal chronometer. Don't set goals. Start with 10-minute sessions where there's no urgency, just curiosity to feel more. This practice not only improves your sexual performance, but also decreases stress, improves circulation, and reconnects you with yourself. It's a powerful and simple way to trust your body again, without medications, without pressure, without fear. Many men who applied this technique noticed surprising changes in just a few weeks. They recovered their confidence, felt more energy, and most importantly, they stopped seeing masturbation as a discharge and started seeing it as a male health tool. Just as the Japanese prioritize body control as a source of longevity, you too can learn to master your rhythms to enjoy more and live better. Second mistake, pornography dependency. Many men over 60 believe that pornography is just an innocent tool to activate desire. After all, it's one click away, always available, intense, stimulating. But here's the truth no one tells you, that easy access may be silently ruining your sex life. This is the second big mistake, relying on porn as the main avenue for masturbation. And no, this isn't about moralism. It's about biology, about how your brain reacts. Imagine that pornography is like junk food, quick, tasty, addictive, but without nutritional value. Your mind gets used to increasingly extreme, intense, unreal images. And when the time comes to be with a real partner, your body no longer responds with the same enthusiasm. This visual overstimulation can lead to a real, scientifically documented condition called porn-induced erectile dysfunction. In my experience, many men have confessed to feeling disconnected in intimacy, as if nothing were exciting enough. The reason? Their brain has been reprogrammed to respond only to digital stimuli. The real no longer competes with the virtual. And this isn't an exaggeration. Studies in neuroplasticity have shown that frequent porn consumption literally changes brain chemistry, requiring more extreme stimuli to generate pleasure. But you can reverse this. You don't need to eliminate masturbation. You need to reduce dependency on porn. How? With what the Japanese call conscious self-cultivation. Try disconnecting from screens and using imagination. Yes, your mind is the most powerful sexual organ. Relive real scenes that marked you, create new fantasies, listen to sensual stories in audio format. At first it may seem difficult, but your brain adapts quickly when you give it space. Start gradually. Try at least once a week to masturbate without visual stimuli. Turn off the screen, dim the lights, feel comfortable. You'll discover that your body responds better, that you recover lost sensitivity, and that pleasure isn't in what you see, but in what you feel. Over time, you'll notice how your erection improves, your emotional connection, and your presence during intimate moments. This small change has already transformed the lives of thousands of men. And if you combine it with breathing techniques and rhythm control, as we saw in the previous block, the effect is even more powerful. Just like the Japanese do in sexual longevity clinics, less external stimulus, more internal connection. Because true masculine power isn't in what you see, but in what you control. Third mistake, the death grip. Imagine this. You always use the same hand, with the same force, in the same position, for the same amount of time. Sound familiar? This silent routine, which seems harmless, may be one of the biggest enemies of your sexual health. It's what in sexual medicine is known as the death grip. And Dan, it's the third big mistake that thousands of men over 60 make without knowing, and it may be reducing your sensitivity, your pleasure, and your ability to enjoy with a real partner. The problem is that the penis, like any part of the body, adapts to the stimulus it constantly receives. When the stimulus is always the same, strong, fast, and repetitive, your nervous system becomes dependent on that pattern. In other words, your body learns that it can only feel pleasure if that exact stimulus is repeated. And what happens when you're with a partner and that pattern isn't reproduced? Exactly. the body doesn't respond. The erection is weaker, the pleasure is dimmer, and frustration appears. Many men tell me, "But that's how it works for me. Why should I change?" And the answer is simple, because it's stealing your ability to enjoy other forms of pleasure, to feel more, to reconnect with your body like when you were young. The death grip not only generates physical desensitization, but also emotional. It locks you in a cycle of immediate but superficial gratification, where the automatic replaces the deep. Studies on sexual conditioning show that the male body needs variability to maintain sexual health. Changing the way you stimulate yourself isn't a luxury, it's a physiological necessity to avoid dependency. And here's where Japanese wisdom comes in again. In clinics specialized in intimate longevity, constant change of technique, rhythm, and environment is promoted. They call it adaptive conscious masturbation, and it has shown surprising results in older men. So what can you do today? First, break the pattern. Use the opposite hand, change body position, apply less pressure, or use lubricant to soften friction. You can even use a condom during masturbation to simulate the sensitivity of real contact. These variations aren't small details. They're the path to reactivating nerves, recovering lost sensitivity, and improving performance with your partner. Additionally, add new elements. Change the environment. Try masturbating standing instead of sitting. Play relaxing music. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Each new stimulus activates different areas of the brain and trains the body to respond to varied situations. This prepares you not only to enjoy more alone, but also to perform better in a real intimate relationship. Because true pleasure doesn't come from rigid control, but from the ability to adapt. In summary, the death grip is a silent but reversible trap. It requires attention, practice, and mental openness. And if today you take the step to try something different, you're telling your body, "I want more. I deserve more. I'm ready to recover what's mine." That decision is an act of power, self-care, and freedom. While in many cultures, sexuality after 60 is treated as a taboo subject or considered a closed chapter, in Japan, an entire philosophy has developed around sexual wellness in maturity. There, masturbation isn't seen as a simple release, but as a tool for internal connection, longevity, and vital energy. Older men who follow this tradition don't seek quantity, but quality of sensations, body control, and mental clarity, and you too can benefit from this vision. One of the best-known practices is called caretza, an ancestral technique that focuses on maintaining arousal without reaching immediate ejaculation. According to sexual longevity studies conducted in Tokyo, men who adopt this practice report greater vitality, better testosterone levels, and deeper relationships. It's not about repressing, but transforming the impulse into vital energy. Instead of losing strength with each quick discharge, they learn to conserve and redirect that energy to feel more alert, creative, and alive. Another key point in the Japanese approach is conscious breathing. Most men, when masturbating, hold their breath without noticing, which generates tension and anxiety. In Japan, they're taught to synchronize breathing with movements. Inhale deeply during arousal, exhale slowly when approaching climax, and stop just before. This pattern activates the parasympathetic system, reduces stress, and naturally prolongs erection and pleasure. Many older men, when applying this technique, report substantial improvement in their control and sexual confidence. Great importance is also given to the environment. While in the West, masturbation is usually done in hiding, hurriedly, and in unstimulating environments, in Japan, an intimate ritual is promoted. An organized room, soft lighting, pleasant aromas like sandalwood or ylang-ylang, and total mental presence. The goal is for the older man not to act out of habit, but by conscious decision, in an environment that invites him to explore, relax, and reconnect with his body. Additionally, Eastern medicine recommends combining these practices with natural aphrodisiac foods and circulation exercises like hara breathing or sexual tai chi, which consist of slow, gentle movements that activate blood flow to the pelvic region. These exercises help maintain blood vessel elasticity, prevent erectile dysfunction, and recover the sensitivity that time and routine have been dimming. Finally, mentality is fundamental. In Japan, it's understood that sexual potency and maturity isn't just about functioning, but about feeling deeply. A man who masters himself, who knows his rhythms, who transforms his habits, is seen as someone wise, strong, and worthy of admiration. This vision contrasts deeply with what is often promoted in the West, where virility is measured by mechanical performance, and you can choose which path to follow. Adopting these practices doesn't mean changing everything overnight. It means starting today with small steps, breathing better, dedicating more time, turning off screens, exploring new forms, changing the environment. Each of these actions is a signal to your body that you want something deeper, healthier, more authentic. And that decision, though it may seem small, can make the difference between a passive old age and a full, conscious and active maturity. Perhaps you've spent years practicing masturbation the same way, in silence, without thinking much. Maybe you never imagined that small adjustments could bring such powerful results. But now you know, it's not age that extinguishes your internal fire, but unconscious habits that gradually reprogram your body and mind toward deterioration. And most importantly, this can change, starting today, without needing medications, without depending on anyone. Science has confirmed something that Eastern cultures have known for centuries. The male body is deeply plastic. This means it can relearn, regenerate, and respond better if you give it the right environment. Whether you suffer from erectile dysfunction, loss of desire, or simply don't feel the connection you had before, you can reverse it. You just need to observe yourself, change the pace, and open space for the new. Start by creating a sacred space for your intimate health. You don't need candles or incense if you don't like them, but you do need intention and respect for yourself. Dedicate exclusive time to explore your body, without guilt, without rush, without screens. Change posture, breathe deeply, and observe how your body reacts to each variation. Use quality lubricant. Experiment with pressure. You can even use gentle tantric techniques like circular massages in the pelvic area to awaken dormant nerves. Another little-known but extremely useful practice is pelvic floor training. Many men believe Kegel exercises are only for women, but the truth is they strengthen the pubococcygeus muscle, responsible for sustaining erections and controlling ejaculation. Simply contract the muscle as if you wanted to stop the flow of urine. Hold for 3 seconds and release. Do this 10 times a day. In a few days, you'll feel more strength, more control, and more confidence. Also integrate vasodilator foods like garlic, ginger, pomegranate, or green tea, which improve blood flow to the intimate region. Stay physically active, even with 30-minute daily walks. And if you have a partner, speak openly. Sharing this process with someone can strengthen the relationship and open doors to deeper and freer intimacy. It's not just a physical transformation. It's an emotional reconstruction that strengthens your self-esteem and your identity as a man. Remember this: potency isn't a matter of luck or youth. It's a daily decision, deciding to take care of yourself, deciding to change, deciding to listen to yourself. And no matter how much time has passed, your body wants to live, feel, and respond. It just needs you to give it that opportunity. With each conscious session, with each slow breath, with each new habit you adopt, you're writing a new story. A story of rebirth, connection, and true mature masculinity. Reaching 60 doesn't mean your intimate life is over. On the contrary, it can be the beginning of a new stage, more conscious, deeper, freer from pressure, and fuller of true pleasure. Today you discovered that certain habits, though they seem harmless, may be weakening your potency day after day. But you also learned that each of these mistakes has a solution, and best of all, that solution depends only on you. Slowing down, abandoning porn dependency, breaking the death grip routine, breathing better, trying new forms of stimulation, strengthening your pelvic muscles, caring for your nutrition, moving, observing yourself with respect. Each of these actions is small, but together they form a powerful path toward your recovery. And this path doesn't demand perfection, just decision. Because it's not too late. It's never too late to feel strong, desired, capable, and full of life again. If this content helped you, do something for yourself and for other men who also need to hear this, like subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more content like this. Leave a comment with "I'm ready" if you decided to start this transformation, or comment 0 if you still have doubts. I'll be here to read, respond, and accompany you. And if you know a brother, a friend, a father, or someone who deserves to trust their body again, share this content. Because when a man awakens, his entire life changes.